What's up, brothers and sisters? It's your brother G World 7_D, and here's another book by the same author that I talked about the other day. A people divided against themselves. Black Indians of the Appalachians since the Civil War. All right. Now, some things he says I don't agree with, or how he's wording it, but this is how we fall into trap with certain things. But I want to read this to you real quick. All right. I'm gonna read this to you. To go to chapter 3. All right here. If I can get it. And so you can see it right here. Those who lived in the Appalachian plateaus, valleys, ridges, hills, lowlands, coastal plains, rivers, streams, and lake shores. All right. And I'm going to say something I want you to pick up. The Lumbees and the Miccosukes, the Lumbees and the Miccosukes, all right, although the Cherokees lived in the Appalachian plateaus, valleys, ridges, hills, rivers, streams, and lake shores, their alleged descendants, the Lumbees of North Carolina, is presently the largest tribe east of the Mississippi. These Indians of African descent, that's not correct. Why he keeps saying that? See, this is what bothers me. He does this. These Indians of African descent have a membership of between 40,000 to 60,000. These offsprings of the Black-Red Alliance that shaped the first century of American life after 1492 boasted a long record of mixing the races that include white settlers from the famous lost colony of Roanoke. Okay, that's not totally accurate too, but okay. But referred to the Melungeons during the early 19th century, they migrated to Tennessee from North Carolina, where a majority reside. The Lumbees are the largest tribe of black Indians recognized by any state government. The African American appearance, there was no such thing as African American, they're not African American, has contributed to their failure to acquire federal recognition after numerous attempts. Quick stop right there. He's making it as if these Negro slaves mixed in with white folk. That's not accurate. Those Indians are black. And he even shows the original Indians in his books. That's the type of stuff we got to get out of, man. That's why I said when you start reading this stuff, this is written by a brother, but when you start reading this stuff, and you got to get out of it. You got to get out of that thing and talking about they're African. They're not African, not foreigners. These are Aboriginal black people. So stop talking the red mixing with the black. The so-called red is nothing but Negroes with a brownish hue. Copper tone. Black people always came in various different shades. It bothers me that I hear this. Even these names. Look at this. Lumbees. Miccosukes. Mississippi. Damn. This is so obvious. Kankakee, like I said before, that's none in here. Appalachians. These names are similar because these are the same damn people broken up into different tribes. I've said this before. Tennessee. And in this article, it talks about these offspring of Black-Red Alliance that shaped the first century of American life after the 1492 boasted a long record of mixing races that include white settlers from the famous lost colony of Roanoke, referred to as Melungeons, during the early 19th century. Now, I know about the Melungeons, all right? They migrate to Tennessee from North Carolina, where a majority reside. Okay, you know a group of Negroes who was in North Carolina and ended up going further south, the Amasi. And these are not no mulatto Negroes. Now, when you study the Melungeons, they are basically, they're not, I hate when people say they're triracial, black, Indian, and white. What they really are black, white mixture. Some are more black, some may look more white. And then probably start off in the area of Virginia, Roanoke. So these Negroes, what it is that there's basically a black Indian mixture or black European mixture with white. In some instances, black European mixing with a black European. black European mixing with a black Indian. It was no triracial. It was just, quote, interracial of Aboriginal black Indians or black Europeans mixed with white people. That's why some look still black today and some look more white, because some start to just mix white, while others continue either they didn't mix white, they remain black with the Melungian. I think Elvis Presley's mother, she might have been a Melungian, if I'm correct. So that maybe tell you why there's some of the things Elvis did. Okay, so he had that Negro blood in him. And the white race bigots don't want to hear that, but Elvis did have black blood in him. And I believe it's through his mother. All right? But the point is that it was no triracial. That's not accurate, man. That was more interracial with the Melungian. But even with male, as in Melanesian, that means black. That means melanated, dark skin. So white folks cannot be dark skinned. So that's basically, there wasn't no triracial because the Indians here were black. So see, this is why you really got to do studying of this stuff. And like I said, you look at these names: Lumbee, Miccosukee, Tennessee, Mississippi. These names sound similar because these same goddamn Negroes, man. I keep telling you, that's why I play with these names. It's not just playing because I study and I look at it. It's so obvious. All right. Let me go over further. Contemporary research has demonstrated that the Lumbees have colonial African American genealogy. Okay, they don't know damn African Americans. African Americans didn't exist. These people aren't African. These are Aboriginal black. Okay, African Americans and Euro Americans intermarried into the Lumbee tribe in colonial America. Court records, land deeds, and other historical documents verify this connection. White servant women had children from enslaved or free African Americans prior to 1723 Virginia law prohibiting such unions. The numerous offsprings became landowners in isolated triracial communities of Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Louisiana. Within these triracial communities and societies, no goddamn triracials, man. And then you see the sister with the feather of the head. Notice around their head, you see that with ancient Egypt with Maat. Notice like the headband around her head and the feather. I showed you with the Bonda, man. The Bonda chick. You know, she had the feather in her head, those dancers, entertainers. Here's this chick with the feather in her head, man. A Lumbee of North Carolina, man. Yeah, I showed you pictures of the Bonda before with the sister with the feather in her head. All right? The sister with the one feather in her head. All right. In fact, I'm gonna try to see if I can pull that picture again because this is really getting on my nerves, man. Well, let me see if I can pull that picture again. Which book? Try to find a book I can pull that out of because I had it in one of the books. Might be in this one right here because this is a 2-volume book. Chick the Bonda book, if I can find it. See, I didn't set up for this video, but I can find it. It's the chick. It's in my other video, but I want to show it with the chick with the one feather over in India of the Bonda. It's like I said in my other video, I showed you how she looked, but I want to show it again because I could have sworn it's in this book, and I wish I had it out. Because I want to show, and I think it is. Here it is. Here it is. The picture of the sister, the Bonda sister, right here. I said, here it is, right here. Okay, notice the similarities. Notice this in this picture from West Africa, East Africa, or neither. These folk dancers belong to the Aboriginal Gan people. Gan people of India. They relate to the Gan people of India. See, these are Indian Negroes. Look at her. Okay, look at her. Take a good look. These folk dancers belong to the Aboriginal Gan people of India. They're descendants of India's first settlers. These are like entertainers. Notice how she looked with the feather. This is a black woman from India. This is not an African. This is not a West African. This is an Aboriginal black person from India. By the way, the Australian blacks came out of Asia. All right? They came from Asia. But here it goes. This is an Aboriginal black woman of India. All right? Let me go back to the black sister here in this book that I just had. I lost the page, But the picture I just showed you of the black woman up in here. I'm gonna show her a picture again, because this is something that we really got to pick up on. All right, this is the sister out of North Carolina, man. This is her here. All right, notice how she look. Look at the headband and the feather around her head. The one feather around her head. She has another feather going to the side, front, but you see the one sticking up in the back. All right, there she is. Here's the Ghan sister from India, man. Don't you see the similarities? Like a little beaded headband around her head and a feather in her head. And you see that image with Ma'at from ancient Egypt, man. There was a damn spiritual connection for Aboriginal black people globally. We weren't just situated around no damn Africa. Look at the feather on his head, man. It's sort of like turban on his head. You see that with the black people over here in Americas, man. But let me go even further, because in this book, I want to show also other images, because we really got to stop this mess that we just came over in the slave ship, man. I'm tired of that. Okay, I'm really tired of that foolishness, and that's just some goofy stuff that some of you Negroes do not do no real studying. You continue to believe what this white man tells you. Now, here's a picture of what's it called, King Philip's War. Metacomment's a larger image. You can see these are unquestionably Negroes, man, in America. These are Negroes, man. These are Negroes. All right? These are Negroes. These are Negroes. This is a larger image. In the back, it looks like it's a former mound back there. All right? You see, look at these Negroes with their spears and their dress attire. All right? Those are not Africans. Those are not runaway slaves. Those are Negroes, man. And some of us, we got to come to grips. I know you've been taught a certain way that you come from African slavery. You don't. Most of you don't. Most of you already were here. I'm going to constantly hammer that in. Like I showed you with the sister with the feather in their head. Okay, here's the image of the Chickasaw I told you about. With the feather in their head. With the feather in their head. With the feather in their head. Here's the Cherokee with the turban. The Chickasaw with the feather in their head. Now I showed you in other previous videos, man. I want to emphasize this over and over again, is that whether it was in the Carolinas, whether it was in Virginia, whether it was in what is modern day Delaware, Pennsylvania, Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Negroes were the original people there. Period. And that triracial stuff, I don't buy that. That's garbage though. The Malungians were basically a black-white mixture. That triracial stuff, I don't even accept that mess. That's not true. Because you hear that triracial stuff all the time. That's to throw off the scent. That was basically black Indians. Some of them black Indians, black Europeans, and then white folks. All right? But they weren't no triracial, because those Indians were black themselves. There wasn't no mixture with no quote Mongolian people. These are Aboriginal black people who already were here. That's my problem with this brother, man, in his book, doing that, man. He falls trapped saying that all black people come from Africa, and he just mixed in with some quote mythical red people that were here. No, the original people in the Americas were black. That's just something that you gotta get in your head, and you gotta stop that, man. Some of you Negroes have your PhDs and still don't know what the hell you're talking about. But the point is that, oh God, man. The point is that this is why it's very important to do our real research. I don't listen to people like Gates. All right, Gates is part of the Boule Negro who's not teaching you nothing. And when I say Boule, I had a problem, brothers, making their money, getting as much money you can, man. But I have a problem with Boule is a certain mindset is there to please and to continue to push the racist agenda or the mindset of the status quo. I'm not with that. So that's why I don't get down a lot of those Boule Negroes, because they're taking us and they're sending us down to the pit of hell. So, brothers and sisters, I want you to understand. That's why I compare and I contrast certain things and I show you certain things. And I want you to pick up your true history. I said this before in other videos. I'm going to continue harping this. There's a Timbuktu over in Africa. There's a Timbuktu on the west coast of California. Malibu, California. Malibu, California. Malibu, California. California, Queen Khalifa. Mikosoki, Lumbee, Cherokee, Malinke, Saniki. God, this stuff is really in your face, man. This is really in your face. These names are hilariously in your face. They're hilariously in your face. Your history has been here in America. Your history did not originate in no plantation of no Virginia or no Africa or no 1619. That's inaccurate information. And it's backed by the New York Times. Of course they're going to promote lies because they want to continue to make you feel that you were an immigrant when nothing about you was an immigrant. We are the Aboriginal people of this damn land. And some of you don't want to hear this, but you're going to hear it from me. Most so-called black Americans' ancestors did not come from no slave ship from West, East, Southern, or Northern Africa. Most of us were already here. Yes, there were slaves brought here. I do not deny that, but there wasn't that many. And you had a lot of black Europeans fluctuating over here. Hell, you have Moorish castles in Mexico. So there's various different types of black people who was flying in, or not flying in, selling here in and out. And you notice what I read talking about riverbeds and streams. Remember I kept telling you before how those mounds and those great cities were built by large rivers or streams that they built right off of them, because as they travel, they can get out and then get their goods and built by the large waterways where they go travel to other places and trade and to move about within the continent or the landmass. I stated that before. All right. I stated that before. So I want to emphasize that. I stated that before. I'm going to continue to harp on that. This is why it's so important to study your true history. This is why it's very important. And this is the image that he has of Hernando de Soto, the conquistador. Now, obviously, that looked like a Negro, man. That's a Negro. That's not a white man. That's a Negro. So now you understand that Hernando de Soto himself was a Negro. I showed a picture of him in another book. This is written by a black man. Another book written by some white academic person. We've been here. We were able to carve into rock structure. That's why I talk about the mining, the smelting of iron, and the process of steel making, which our ancestors knew about. But they smelted iron, and they knew how to blow into caves and to cut and to carve into hard rock. That took high level of science. That was not a simple-minded people. Simple-minded people could not have sailed around the planet. Simple-minded people could not have read the stars to travel at night or use the rays of the sun during the day. Simple-minded people could not have done that. But when you're simplifying our history and our culture when you just say that we're over here because we were brought over in slave ship. That is someone else's narrative, and that's taking our culture and simplifying it into a damn lie. So this is why it's so important to really study your true history. Like I said, I showed you the image of a Gond people of India, the Gond people. The sister had a headband and a feather in the head. I showed you the Lumbee out of the North Carolina area, all right, who had like a little headband and a feather on the damn head. I showed you the Chickasaw, okay, the feather on the damn head. The Chickasaw had the feather in the damn head. Our people were already here. All right? I'm going to say this again. Our people were already here. Our people were already here. A lot of these images that you see of the so-called Indians are bogus. And first of all, there was no Native Americans back in the 1700s, and there definitely was no damn African Americans. So we got to stop using those damn terms. That is a way to try to take one group of black and break them off into another race from these other groups of black. Remember I said who were what I say? Who I said was the Geechee. There was nothing but Aboriginal Negroes who took in some slaves who were absorbed within them. They're not descending on Angolian slaves. They're descending of Aboriginal blacks who already were here. This is why I play with those names, because the names sound similar. Geechee, Mikosoki, Lumbee, Tennessee, Mississippi, Kankakee, Tallahassee, Tallahassee, Hassie. These names sound similar because he's saying Yamasi. These names sound similar because it's the same damn people. Please, brothers and sisters, do your research, man. Do your research. Stop listening to some of these educated fool Negroes. Stop listening to a lot of these racist white folks and these others and these boule Negroes who really don't care about anything but to go along and get along and continue to push the status quo. Learn your true history. The information's there. The information's out there. You're going to have to seek it and start using common sense how you do your research. Like I said, the information's out there. It's there for you to grab, to seek it, if you want it. If you don't want it, it's going to continue to be lost. Or is it lost? It's just hidden from you. Hidden in a book. Which the governor of Florida wants to get rid of certain books. So I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, man, continue to learn your history and continue to learn who you really are. Do not listen to foreigners tell who you are. You should know who you are. I love you, brothers and sisters. I love you to the fullest, and I want you to continue to seek that knowledge. Your people are Aboriginal on this planet. You're not descendant of slaves. Some of your ancestors weren't slaves, but you're not descendant of slaves, and you weren't brought here over a boat. Came over here in a boat. Most of us were already here. Okay, this gotta sink into some black people, man. I don't understand it. Most of us were already here. I'm gonna repeat this again. Most of us were already here. See, you're not taught this in college. See, in college, they teach you that you're just a slave from Africa. And in high school. So this is why a lot of young black boys at an early age get disinterested in school. I was like that, man. Part of the reason I couldn't see the board also too. But I was like that, disinterested. My father used to get on me all the time, man. He said, man, what you doing? Because we need to get these boys and girls at a certain age. But they're being conditioned at an early age, going to high school, and definitely in college, regurgitating, memorizing lies that have been pushed into the education system, claiming to be history or science when this is a lie. Once you do enough research, once you get access to a lot of this information, once you critically evaluate this information, start using common sense, talking about all these DNA tests always say you come from West Africa, Nigeria. You look nothing like a lot of those Negroes, man. It's just insane. And I'm saying that there's not certain Nigerians who don't look like us. Some of them, there's some who do, but for the most part, we don't look like them. So I should tell you something right there. But yet, all this DNA test say you come from West Africa. Don't you question that? So I want brothers and sisters to really study the history. To really study the history. Study to the point where you can master it. You know, and I have problems with this brother book because he talking about American Indian, Black, Hispanic, and multi. Man, just not the people here were originally black, dude. But it's been a trick that what a lot of white racist scholars have done, and unfortunately Negroes who continue to mess like Gates try to mulatto-size or to Caucasianize our true history. All right, brothers and sisters, man. This is your brother G World, man. Throwing you a quick video. All right, peace and love.